Hello, I wanted to share some stories. And right now I have three stories in mind. The first story goes like this. Uh, about 2 decades, maybe a little bit long, actually 3 decades, whatever, many decades ago, I was a graduate student. I was a doctoral student studying, majoring in mathematical modeling. And this was about a year and a half to 2 years into my program. I ended up having a lung collapse, hospitalization, surgery, recovery, and just as I was recovering, my other lung collapsed, a longer hospitalization, a more serious surgery, and a much longer recovery period of about 2 months because I also got a severe case of bronchitis. And so I was basically laid out on a couch for a month to a month and a half, and it took another couple of weeks of just kind of recuperating. And so I had a lot of time to reflect on the course of my life and what I was studying. And when I started going back, I noticed, well, up until that point, I had created a lot of momentum in terms of studying and the intellectual work I was involved in because I had gotten a bachelor's and a master's in math, and here I was in a doctoral program in the same direction, and I was working hard, and here I had these two spontaneous lung collapses, one after the other, and so when I went back, uh, I had lost all the momentum, the years of momentum that I accumulated, and without the momentum, the whole thing kind of felt hollow. And I mentioned that I'd had a lot of time to reflect, and I was studying in a field where I think one of my advisors said something like, uh, by the time you finish your doctorate, if you can say that you understand 3 or 4 papers, you're doing good. And I can't remember who else said it, but that if I publish a paper, there will probably be about 10 to 20 people who will understand it, and maybe 2 or 3 people who will care. So I'm laying in my bed, half dead, and thinking, wow, is this the course of my life? So anyway, my heart was no longer into it when I got back. But here I had spent so much time and effort and energy along this line, and just didn't want to throw it away. At the time, I lived on campus, and I had a neighbor. His name was Chuck, and we were friends. We had actually been friends for about 8 to 10 years prior, because I had gone to an undergrad near where he lived, and he was about 10, 15 years older than me. He was an ex-convict who had spent 10 years in prison, but here he was doing his own PhD in criminology. Anyway, we were just hanging out, and I happened to mention some of these doubts and misgivings that I was having. And I don't remember exactly how I said it, but I said something along the lines of, you know, my heart's not in it, but I can't just flush this whole thing down the toilet with all the time and effort and energy I've invested into this. And I don't know where he came up with what he said next, but just kind of out of the blue, for me, he says, hey, Yuichi, have you ever considered that maybe it's all been flushed down the toilet already? That it's all gone? and he laughed, and like he knew something, and I knew as soon as he said it, he was right. He was right that not have I considered, that he was right that it already was gone. And here I was stuck on, I can't let it go because of all the investment I had put into it, and I was holding on, not able to let go, and the whole time there was nothing in my hand. It was already gone. It was already down the toilet. It had already been flushed down the toilet. And that made the decision easy because there was no decision. It was already gone. So within a matter of days, I told the secretary of the department, and she did the paperwork for me, and I think that was my last semester. I think I stayed in to wrap up the semester for say the sake of financial aid or fellowship money, but it was a done deal. So there was no decision. There wasn't, and the process of letting go wasn't I had to let something go. It was more I had to recognize that there was nothing I was holding on to. So letting go is just automatic. Anyway, that's the first story. Let me go to the second video for the second story.